So I will not detail the standards that exist today on compostability. Just to recall, you will find this on the presentation on the internet site of PLASTiCE. Just to recall you that there's an European standard, EN 13432, that is not really on compostability. It's just on biodegradation in some very specific conditions and on disintegrability of the material. The only test on the safety is plant growth. But I don't know if you know, 80% of the biomass of the soil is made of earthworms, not of plants. I forget the bacteria, of course. In France, we have a specific standard on mulching films with some more tests on ecotoxicity. Sorry. And at least in France, always, we have the standards, the French standards are under discussion at the European Standard Organization for more general recognition. So at least we have in France a standard on compost, but nothing on safety. At last, there are labels that today exist that are mainly based on the EN 13432 and where, as I said some minutes ago, there's no safety. So there's a strong questioning from the consumers, the regulators, and the industrials on compostable packaging or materials. There's a reject by the composting plants of these materials because of the lack of safety. There are standards that exist, and there are labels delivered by some private companies. At last, there's a growing market. So, what is missing in this field today is knowledge on emerging contaminants, source of all the crises we observe today, knowledge on the toxicity of the end products that will be composted, knowledge on the ecotoxicity of the compost. The objective of the project is to develop a testing chain that is both applicable on the raw material and applicable, raw material is the end product with ink, with coatings, and with material, of course. And applicable also on the compost that are issues from this raw material. We want to develop a safety assessment procedure for this kind of product. And at least we want to develop a label, if it's possible, on these procedures. The work programs, mainly 4 work packages, of course. The first one was on raw material. The second one is on compost issues from this raw material. I have just one thing to say, is that in the consortiums, we speak only about industrial composting, not on composting. Okay, the PENA company is specialized in this field. So, and on these raw materials and compost, we will perform lots of analysis that I will detail later. the VP4 is, deals with the cost-benefit analysis. And life cycle analysis. We know if we want to develop a label, this has not to be too much costly, of course. But it has to be efficient. And at last, we will test a kind of validation procedure. We will test several packaging materials with these simplified procedures. So just to recall, I lost a lot of information, strange. So just to show you that we are working on end products on the left side and also on compost, just to show you quickly what kind of analysis we will perform, both on heavy metals, both of contaminants specific from food packaging materials, which kind of test we will perform on regarding the toxicological effects, mainly genotoxicity and the search for endocrine disrupting substances, and a great list of ecotoxicological analysis, both on worms, on plant, on fish, on bacteria, on crustacean, and of course, algae. I want to thank the organization to invite me to present my project, of course, and because I have a need, we have a need in the consortium. We are looking for producers or end users that would help us in finalizing the project in VP5. And we are looking mainly on active, if any, active biodegradable or compostable material, on composite paper and bioplastic, for example, cups, on soil material, fertilizers, and so on. So if you can help me, you are welcome, of course. Of course, we have some commitments on not communicating on the results of the project. Thank you very much.